The world does not always reward the kindest person in the room. It does not always reward the smartest one either. It rewards the person others take seriously, the one whose words carry weight before they even finish speaking. Most people never understand why they get overlooked. They work hard, they mean well, yet somehow their opinions get brushed aside, their time gets taken for granted, and their presence barely registers. Meanwhile, someone else, not necessarily more talented, walks into the same room and commands attention without raising their voice. That difference is not talent. It is not luck. It is a handful of behaviors, quiet and deliberate, that shape how people perceive you before they know a single fact about you. Centuries ago, Machiavelli studied power at its rawest. He noticed that people judge you far more by what you consistently do than by what you promise. Reputation, he understood, is built in silence, through patterns, not speeches. Today we are covering 7 behaviors that build exactly that kind of presence, the kind that earns respect without demanding it. Stick around, because the last one is the behavior almost nobody masters, and it changes everything once you do. Number 1, get comfortable with silence. Most people believe respect comes from saying the right thing. Often, it comes from knowing when to say nothing at all. Silence makes people uneasy. The instant a conversation goes quiet, most rush to fill it, over-explaining, defending themselves before anyone's even accused them of anything, talking simply to avoid the discomfort of stillness. But every unnecessary word gives someone else more material to read you with. Watch anyone with real presence. They don't scramble to fill silence. They let it sit. They think before they answer, and because they speak less, what they do say lands harder. A pause before a response doesn't look weak, it looks deliberate. It turns a reaction into a decision. Number 2, decide faster than most people. Nothing quietly erodes respect faster than chronic hesitation. Not the wrong decision, no decision at all. People convince themselves they're still thinking it over, when really, they're just afraid. Fear disguises itself as caution, as needing more information, as waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives. And while they wait, the world moves on without them. Nobody has complete information before making a hard call, but the people others trust in a crisis aren't the ones frozen by uncertainty. They're the ones who say calmly, "Here's what we do. You won't be right every time," but the willingness to choose, absorb the outcome, and adjust builds a kind of trust that endless deliberation never will. Number 3, stop chasing everyone's approval. Wanting to be liked is human, but the moment your choices bend around avoiding someone else's disappointment, you've quietly handed them control of your life. You start saying yes when you mean no, agreeing with things you don't believe, staying silent when something should be said. And ironically, the harder you chase universal approval, the less seriously anyone takes you, because people can sense when someone has no fixed ground to stand on. The people who leave a lasting impression aren't the ones who agree with everyone. They're the ones with quiet, consistent standards, people you may not always agree with, but always know where they stand. That certainty is what earns real trust, not constant agreement. Number 4, stop handing people your weak spots. Every time you visibly lose composure, get defensive over a joke, snap at a small disagreement, let your whole mood shift because of one comment, you're revealing exactly which buttons work on you. And once someone knows that, they don't need to understand you. They just need to press the button. This isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about not performing it for an audience. 2 people can receive the exact same criticism. One reacts instantly and loses the room. The other absorbs it, pauses, and responds with intention. The second person always looks stronger because control under pressure reads as strength every time. Save your reactions for what actually deserves them. Not every comment, provocation, or minor insult needs your energy. Number 5, make people earn access to you. Constant availability feels generous, but it quietly destroys your value. The first favor gets gratitude. The 10th gets expected. The 20th gets treated as your job, Nothing about you changed, people simply adjusted to unlimited access. Boundaries aren't walls. They're a line that protects your time and energy from becoming everyone else's default resource. When you start saying, "That doesn't work for me," or "I'll get back to you," pay attention to who respects it and who resists it. That reaction tells you more about them than you'd ever learn otherwise. The people who protect their time aren't being difficult. They're demonstrating, without a single word, that their time has value, and value that's protected is value that's respected. Number 6, let your results do the talking. Anyone can announce a plan. Very few people quietly follow through on one. Big declarations create a brief moment of attention. Consistent action creates belief that lasts for years. Someone who constantly promises and rarely delivers eventually gets tuned out, not because they lack ability, but because their pattern becomes obvious. Meanwhile, the person who says little but keeps showing up, keeps finishing what they start, slowly becomes the person everyone quietly counts on without ever asking to be noticed. You don't need to convince anyone you're reliable if your track record already has. Results end arguments that words only prolong. Number 7, be willing to walk away. This is the one most people never learn, and it changes everything once they do. Many people stay in situations long after they've stopped being respected, one-sided conversations, unfair arrangements, relationships where their time is quietly taken for granted because they're afraid that leaving means losing everything. But dependence weakens judgment. The person who believes they have no other option can be pushed around. The person who knows they can walk away cannot. This isn't about giving up when things get hard. Persistence still matters. It's about refusing to remain where your dignity is the price of staying. The moment people see that you're willing to leave rather than keep tolerating disrespect, your standards stop being words and start being demonstrated fact. And demonstrated standards are the only kind anyone ever truly believes. None of these 7 behaviors are about becoming cold, distant, or manipulative. They're about discipline, choosing self-respect over approval, calm over reaction, and consistency over noise. Respect was never something you demand in a single conversation. It's something built quietly, in the small choices you make when nobody's applauding, the pause before you speak, the boundary you hold, the decision you finally make, the moment you choose to walk away instead of settle. Pick one of these 7 and practice it this week. You'll notice the shift in yourself before anyone else does, and eventually, everyone else will notice too. If this was useful, let me know in the comments which one you're starting with, and I'll see you in the next one.